Hey Jake, Isla, Gemma, and Samantha. It's Thrilling Thursday. I have bows in my hair that I'm just loving, and we're starting a new unit on measurement. I'm so excited. All right, so today we're just going to be looking at benchmarks. So that I'm going to explain what that is to you. So I'm going to show you this reference sheet that I made. So I printed it to show you, and it's also posted in our Google Classroom in color. So it's really nice and bright, and you need to be using that when you do your classwork today. So if you can't print it, just make sure you have it opened up on another tab so you can click back and forth. So here it is. So we're going to be talking about customary units of length. So the first thing we're going to talk about is something that's about an inch. So if you think about a small paper clip, that's about an inch. Then another customary unit of length is a foot. So now if you want to know what a foot measures, you could think of a license plate that's on mom or dad's car. So a license plate is a foot. Notice I put a Florida license plate on it. Okay, then the next customary unit we have is a baseball bat. And that, is the yard, and that's about the length of a baseball bat. So when you're thinking about what does a yard look like, think of a baseball bat. What does a foot look like? Think of a license plate. What does an inch look like? Think of a paper clip. Also, we have a mile. So when you want to think about the length of a mile, think about the track at Waldwick High School. If you walk around that track 4 times, that's a mile. That's why I put a picture of the track. You think of that track, walking around it 4 times, that's a mile. So those are our customary units of length. Then we have customary units of liquid volume, and this is how we use to measure things or when we drink things. So a cup is 8 fluid ounces. So that's if you have a small cup in your house, that would be a cup, or if you have a measuring cup, you can look on it. It'll say 1 cup. Ask mom. All right, then we have a pint. A pint is like that little chocolate milk container or the little milk containers you can buy at the snack stand at lunch when we're in school. That's what a pint looks like. Then we have a quart, which is a little bit bigger than a pint, and that could be what your milk is in. You know what? I have a quart of milk. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. So these 2 containers are a quart. This is a quart, and this is a quart. It may look a little bit different, but they're the same thing, and they're both a quart. Okay, so that's another customary unit of liquid volume. And then you would have a half gallon, which is bigger than a quart. So it'd be bigger than what I just showed you, and then 1 gallon is super big. It's the biggest one. So you guys may have a half gallon or a gallon of milk in your kitchen right now, or juice. Ask mom or dad to help you. All right, so those are customary units of liquid volume. Then finally, we have customary units of weight. That's how we measure things, how heavy things are. So now, an ounce is very light. So about 5 pencils would be an ounce, and that's very light. 1 pound would be like a loaf of bread. And then 1 ton is a car. All right, so what's going to happen today in your Google Doc, you're going to have a bunch of pictures, and you're going to have to say to yourself, would I measure that using 1 foot, 1 yard, and I gave you a choice, so it's kind of multiple choice today. All right, but let's start off with something. So I'm going to use some objects I have right here, and you guys have a little scavenger hunt to go on. All right, so here I have this A to Z mystery. It's a panda book. What would we use to measure this? Would we say an inch or a foot? Well, again, you're going to use your reference sheet. And, okay, I know a license plate is bigger than this, so I'm going to say let's measure it using the inch. Okay, you wouldn't want to use a baseball bat that's much bigger, or a mile. You got to think what's the best measure for this object. This is I would say inches. Now let's go with my whiteboard that I measure I use every day when we Google Meet. I would say if we had to measure this for length, I would go with 1 foot. It's almost like the size of the license plate, so we can measure this using feet. All right, so we could go with this. I mean, you could use inches too. but a foot might be better. All right, so that's what you're going to be doing. You're going to be looking at some objects and figuring out what's the best unit to measure with, whether it's length, liquid volume, or weight. Let's go again. Oh, look, I happen to have, yes, it's a turkey cup, but that's what I had out right now. Now, what would I measure this in? Would I say a cup or a half gallon? Well, it's not very big, right? And we know a half gallon is pretty big, right? Because that's our half gallon. That's what you would keep in your refrigerator with like a container of juice. So I would say this little turkey glass or cup, we would measure using 1 cup. Okay? And let's see here. I also have a vitamin bottle here. If I were to fill this with water, what would we measure it in? Again, we would use cup because it's pretty small. I need something big to show you. Okay, hold on. We're in my kitchen. I'll be right back. Oh, look, I found something else. I found this water bottle. This is a little bit bigger than a cup. And it almost looks like the size of the milk cartons we get in school. So we can measure this using 1 pint. All right, so you really need to use this reference sheet today to help you solve these problems. All right, and let's do one more with our customary units of weight. So let's suppose I want to weigh my Expo markers that are not working right now. We would say they're very lightweight, so I would say we would stick with 1 ounce because it's almost like a pencil, right? But let's say I wanted to weigh my Chromebook here that's charging. It's heavy. It's definitely heavier than pencils, but it's not as heavy as a car, so we could weigh it using 1 pound. And then if we wanted to weigh a giraffe, well, a giraffe is a huge animal. What would we weigh it in? Tons. All right, guys, so that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be working with using we call these our benchmarks to figure out how we would measure things. All right, so have fun on the scavenger hunt. Try to get your work done before we meet so you can bring your scavenger hunt items to our meet, and I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.